Hi, my name is Madison Kleckler. I am a pregnancy and postpartum athleticism coach, a postnatal fitness specialist, and a DONA-trained birth doula. And today I want to talk a little bit about the concept of spread the load. I first learned about this concept in the female athlete course with Anthony Lowe. It is a concept that he teaches often, and it was something new for me at the time and something that has helped me tremendously manage stress urinary incontinence symptoms. So often in the fitness and wellness industry, when women are managing diastasis recti and pelvic floor dysfunction, a really common cue that almost everybody uses, even when it's not women or people dealing with those things, is to brace your core. Now, in the women's fitness industry, a common cue is to brace the core and lift the pelvic floor. Now, especially when lifting anything. So that is a very general recommendation you would find when lifting anything, is to brace your core, lift the pelvic floor. I want to talk a little more about how isolating to those two areas of the body may not be serving lots of people. So in my personal experience, I was taught to think on an exhale on exertion. So for a long time after my son was born, I was doing everything with a pelvic floor lift with an exhale on exertion, whether it was picking up my baby or picking up a heavy weight at the gym or squatting something, Pallof pressing, doing anything. I was doing an exhale on the exertion phase. Totally thought it was serving me, kind of like the brace your core cue. I thought that those two things, my core and my pelvic floor lift, would stop me from having stress urinary incontinence. At that time, it actually started to get a little bit worse. So I visited my pelvic floor physical therapist, who then asked me to do an exhale like I was picking up something. And so I did, and she informed me that I was actually doing the opposite of that. So what I'd been doing in my lifting was actually concentrating on those two big cues that I thought were a catch-all for everything that would help me lift all the things. And it was actually not helping me lift the things appropriately for my body. So what I learned from that assessment was that I kind of needed to erase all of the thoughts of focusing on what I thought I needed to focus on to lift something, and just let my body do what it needed to do on its own. So let the muscles connect, let my whole body work instead of just my core and pelvic floor while I was lifting things. So that is that's kind of what I view the spread the load concept as. It's taking the focus off of the core and pelvic floor, something that is really over-cued in women's fitness to begin with, and changing that focus to spreading the load to the entire body. So I'm going to show you lifting this kettlebell, and what I want you to think about is focusing on your feet instead of your pelvic floor or your core. So I've got a 50-pound kettlebell here, which is like a moderate weight for me to lift. Obviously, if you're lifting a really heavy weight or doing a 1RM, you are going to be bracing your core. That is an important thing to do. So it's not that bracing your core, lifting your pelvic floor are inherently bad. It's just that I find with a lot of my clients, with a lot of people experiencing pain or symptoms, they overthink that bracing core and pelvic floor cue, and it actually doesn't help as much as it does make them just think about all the things that they should be doing and making it a little bit awkward. So dialing it back and really thinking about it more as a whole body movement. So I'm going to set up for a deadlift, like I was just going to bend over and pick up. This is kind of the weight of my 6-year-old. She's about 48 pounds. So if I'm picking her up, instead of bracing the core for impact and really lifting the pelvic floor when I set up for that deadlift, so focusing on those two areas that I think should be working the most, what I'm going to do is actually press through my feet, spread that load through my entire body to lift that kettlebell. So I'm hinging over, and you can take an exhale. Nothing wrong with exhaling on that exertion phase, especially if it serves you or gives you that cue that you need. But what I'm going to think about now is actually transferring that load from just the abdominals and the pelvic floor lift all the way down to my feet as well, because your feet and your legs are super strong, and they're going to help you transfer that power up and lift that bell or that kiddo or whatever you're lifting. So I'm going to hinge over like I'm going to do my deadlift, pick up my kiddo, spread the load all the way down to my feet, and then lift up. So pressing that power through the feet, using the entire body, all of those muscles, and letting your brain tell your body what to do to lift that weight could help you manage pain and symptoms in a lift. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It gave you some helpful tips. Follow me at madison.kleckler or check out more information on madisonkleckler.com.